Hello, my homies. One smart cat doing some Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Something Texas Chainsaw Massacre related. Basically, I'm doing a countdown of every single execution that's in the game, going from 15 all the way to number 1. This is the order of my favorite executions. So everything here is completely of my own opinion. It's probably not going to match what your stuff is. That being said, I did gather all of these executions myself, but I just wanted to do something fun, just have all the executions in one place and have a chance to talk about them. So let's just jump right into it. Number 15. How do the countdown voices sound? They sound like that? I'm not going to do that again, don't worry. So at 15, we have Cook with Clobbered, and I can't think of a better way to start off the countdown with just like a solid bonking. Just Cook going around bonking people. That's my number 15. Next up at 14, we have the Hitchhiker with Sliced Meat. And after the good old bonking, I figure there's nothing better than some nice, just straight stabbing. Just simple stab, 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 slice across the neck. Nice and simple, just trying to get the job done. Here at 13, we got the Hitchhiker once again. Now we take his previous poke, poke, stab, stab, and we lay the person on the ground, and then we do poke, poke, stab, stab. Still brutal, still efficient. Number 13. Number 3 brings Johnny into the list for the first time. My favorite thing about Johnny's, like all of Johnny's, is the impact of his knives, like the impact of his stabs. Like this dude, he goes for it. Leatherface enters the countdown at number 11 with the drilling down execution, and that's exactly what he does. He picks a spot in the back, places the chainsaw, and pushes. Rounding out the top 10 is Johnny with his knife party. The two things that I really like about this one is like the way that he stalks around the victim as he's cutting him. And then that last cut across the throat, that goes so deep. The head looks like it's already practically fallen off from that last cut. At number 9, we have the Hitchhiker with You Hear Me. This is such a great, like, manic execution. He slices going all the way around him, and from behind, he jabs him in the side of the throat, then reaches around, slices at the front of the throat, and before they're able to fall, takes the ear. Like, so much happens in this execution. It's easily my favorite Hitchhiker execution out of all of them. Sissy's first entrance here on the countdown is at number 8. I gotta tell you, like, the people who did Sissy's executions, they just knocked it out of the park for all of her executions. It's just the honest truth. Like, I don't know if it was one specific person that did it, or if whenever the group got together and said, all right, let's do Sissy, like, everybody just had great ideas. She throws her poison powder into their face, and while they're stunned, she carves an S on their chest for Sissy, and then bisects them from the bottom up. And this puts her at 8. They did a great job on her executions. Johnny's last execution gets him up to number 7 on the countdown. I talked about it before when it came to Johnny's executions and the impact that it feels like his blades are doing. And the 2 jabs into the victim's back at the end of this execution are what got this up to 7. And an extra little side note on the clip itself. You know, this is why maybe sometimes you should just leave as a victim instead of trying to bully my Bubba. Just leave. Get out of here. Here we have Cook making it to the number 6 spot with easier said than done. There's 2 reasons why I really like this execution. The first one is the comedic value of the whole thing. As he's bonking and poking the victim, his broomstick gets stuck, which is, it's just funny. It's just slapstick comedy. But then that last swing on the head, like after he takes the stick out, the lights out of the eyes and the head just cracking sideways is a brutal way to end this execution. Sissy starts off our top 5 of the countdown. This is her with the killing tease, and everything about this execution is brutal. Like, the completely unnecessary cuts to the victim's arms, like just to fucking hurt him and get the arms out of the way, I guess. The slice across the throat that does like the initial shock and damage, and then the fact that she keeps cutting with the razor blade, like as she's like looking at him in the eyes. Like, if you look at her hand, she's sawing into the people's neck with the blade, like back and forth, back and forth. And then the dead stare of the victims as they like plop to their knees and fall forward. Absolutely brutal execution.
I guess I can't save you after all.
Number 4 on the countdown is Leatherface with the face grinder. This is the one execution that Leatherface has that like actually shows like malice. Like all his other executions, I feel like it's just him doing what he has to do for the family. This execution is like, I got you and I'm going to destroy your face with a chainsaw. It's fucking brutal.
Oh, no, no, no.
Did you think that Cook was going to make it into my top 3? There's a couple of reasons why Stick It To Them is in my top 3. I love the first 2 impacts of like the back of the leg to bring him to the knees, and then the impact to the back of the head that brings him all the way down to the ground. But the thing that sends this execution, at least for me, is him putting pressure on the victim's sternum with the broomstick. And like you could see him applying pressure to it, and you can see the victim actively fighting him off. But once that sternum cracks and like the broomstick sinks in another 3 inches, the arms of the victim immediately like let go and fall to the ground, and the eyes just start staring away. Like, it is such a good exclamation point to that execution. That's number 2 in my countdown is Leatherface with Gutted Like a Deer. This is just good old classic Leatherface. When you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and when you think of Leatherface, this is like the classic scene of Leatherface just plunging his chainsaw into the chest cavity of one of the victims. Like, it doesn't get better than this. Last, but absolutely not least, it is Sissy. It is Claws Out. This execution just keeps going. She cuts into the back, swings around, slices the throat, and you can hear the victim like gurgling on their own blood and exposed windpipe. So they're still alive, as she completely bisects them from the cut in the neck that she did all the way down past their pelvis. Like, whether you're a dude or a chick or whatever, seeing that happen looks horrible, because she goes all the way down. Yeah, Sissy is fucking sadistic.
Oh, you poor little thing.
That's it. That's my countdown. Hopefully you enjoyed it. By absolutely no means do you have to agree with me on any of the stuff that I put out there. That whole thing is, of course, just based on my own opinion, but I legitimately put thought into my order. Like, I sat here and watched all those clips repeatedly, multiple times, figuring out the order that I wanted to put them into. I didn't just throw them up there, you know, nimbly bimbly. That being said, though, please tell me what you think your number 1 is out of all the executions. I would love to know. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I see you in another one of my videos. And we